Now at 6, we're tracking a line of showers and thunderstorms, which is working into the region. Tornado watch out for portions of the area. I'm going to break this all down for you.
Plus, tips from local officials about being prepared when severe weather hits. And
the Joplin Fire Department is looking to recruit more firefighters. I'm Chris Warner with what changes they've made to bring more recruits to the department.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
we have the possibility of severe weather this evening. This is KOAM News at 6. Let's go straight to Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we do have a tornado watch out for a sliver of southeastern Kansas and then mainly into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And you can see some warnings already popping up. There's a new tornado warning just to the southwest of Bartlesville. So we do have this line which is working in. What has helped us out so much today is we've had the clouds. We've had the scattered showers and thunderstorms. So our instability hasn't shot through the roof, but we do need to watch, especially along the state line into northeastern Oklahoma as we go through the rest of the evening hours. This line is heading toward us. It's kind of splitting a little bit, but we need to watch this southern line as it starts to work into northeastern Oklahoma over the next hour to 2 to 3 hours. And then this entire line will continue to push through. And then I think we look a little bit better after about 10 o'clock. But scattered showers and thunderstorms, severe threat continues through about 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And then all of this will be gone and will cool down a bit behind it. So we're going to break this down for you and look at the week here in just a bit.
See you then. Now is the time to be prepared for severe weather. In the event that you need to go to a shelter, the Director of Emergency Management in Joplin advises that you have a change of clothes, water, a weather radio, a charger, and a device that has local weather alerts. In Joplin, every public school has a FEMA shelter, and so does Missouri Southern.
Number is we average about 10 minutes between when a tornado is sighted and when one actually touches down. Usually that's not enough time to get to a shelter, so it's always best to try and shelter in place.
If you have to shelter at your home and you don't have a basement, you should go to the lowest floor in a room with no windows. Pittsburgh has no community shelters, so the city is reminding residents about its policy for activating tornado sirens. First step for the city's sirens to activate is a tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service. From there, the city must either be believed to be in imminent danger or in close proximity of a storm where a tornado is spotted by trained weather spotters.
The City of Pittsburgh recommends following FEMA's recommendation guidelines for that situation, that you do not get out in the storm, do not get out in your vehicles or travel anywhere. Hunker in place in the building or home that you're in, go to the lowest ground level that you have, and go to the most center room that you have.
On the City of Pittsburgh's website, you can find a downloadable map of the siren locations in the city. People in Andover, Kansas, a suburb of Wichita, are picking up the pieces after an EF3 tornado ripped through their town. Reporter Haley Tucker talked with people who've lost their homes. One says they don't know their next step, but are glad everyone made it out alive.
Pieces of the Rummery's home and personal items now lay scattered in the aftermath of the tornado.
I found pictures of other people's families, loved ones. We found a note from our neighbor. And it's weird to think that your personal life is just strewn out around you for everyone to see.
Sydney says things are replaceable, but one item from her father with ALS is something she can't replace.
My dad had recorded storybooks for my children because his voice is going. So he recorded storybooks on a flash drive that was in my dresser. I just found my coaster that was on my nighttime dresser in the trees, but the drawer where I kept it next to my bed was still there.
The Rummerys weren't prepared to say goodbye to what they thought was their forever home.
We were planning on starting a family this summer, so it was really hard to go back in.
She wasn't home when the tornado ripped through their neighborhood.
My dad was a storm chaser back in the day. He covered the 1991 tornado. So he's the first one who called me and kind of said, hey, this is kind of what's going on. So he doesn't have a voice anymore because he has ALS. So it was really strange of him to call me, so I knew it was bad when that happened.
Her husband, Brooks, made it to the basement before their home was destroyed. Sydney says phone service was down, so she didn't know if he was okay, but says they were finally able to reunite just hours after the storm.
you never think it's going to happen to you. Obviously they say that, but it really is true.
Losing their newlywed home, a future that included children, broke their hearts. But finding the flash drive of Sydney's father's voice and finding each other safely means that future is still possible. In Andover, Haley Tucker, Eyewitness News.
Authorities say around 8 people in the Andover area were injured in the storms. You can be the first to know about severe weather impacting your community with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. It's free of charge. It's in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. You can also find severe weather-related resources like shelters and road conditions in your community through our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Joplin Fire Department is hiring, and they're changing what they're looking for in potential firefighter candidates. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with the department and has more.
Whether it's police officers or firefighters, Joplin Fire Captain Daniel Job says there's something about the people you work with.
And the fire services are brotherhood, so the guys I work with, that's a big plus. We're here together 24 hours a day, every third day.
Training Chief Dustin Luno says the department is changing its hiring practices to bring more firefighters in to join that brotherhood and serve the community.
We're going to look at each individual applicant as individuals themselves and look at their qualities and will they be a good fit for the Joplin Fire Department, and then we're going to train them while they're here.
Luno says that change also includes training new firefighters and paying them while they're in training.
Well, our hope is that we can, market ourselves to the community, to those individuals that are, they're looking for something different. They're not sure what they want to do. They know that there's something bigger than themselves. They know they want to be a part of that. And those are the individuals that we want to find.
Job says being a firefighter is more than just putting out fires.
Sometimes it's very small things that we do, but we helped somebody in a time where they didn't know who to call, and we were able to help them out. So it doesn't matter the size of the job, it's just being able to help somebody.
Not only will new hires help serve the community, they'll help make the fire department stronger.
Not only will they be helping out and filling the trucks, they'll take that burden off of our firefighters that are working the extra shifts to continue to provide that service for the citizens of Joplin.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Now, at tonight's council meeting, city officials are going to hear a presentation about how to make things better for police, firefighters, including salaries, increased salaries. We're going to have more on that meeting for you tonight on KOAM News at 10. Coming up, authorities in Quapaw arrest a suspect in a weekend shooting that sent a man to the hospital. Plus, the University of Oklahoma releases the names of 3 students killed in a crash near the Oklahoma-Kansas line. Authorities in Quapaw, Oklahoma arrest a suspect accused of shooting a man over the weekend. Saturday morning, police responded to a call of a shooting in the 400 block of South Chestnut in Quapaw. When officers arrived, they found a man with a gunshot wound to the chest. He was taken to the hospital and survived. Authorities later arrested 48-year-old Mark Dougherty for the shooting. Dougherty is charged with first-degree attempted murder and possession of illegal drugs. The University of Oklahoma has released the identities of 3 students killed in a crash Friday along Interstate 35 near the Oklahoma-Kansas line. The university says the victims were meteorology students. Reporter Hunter McKee has more.
The 3 students were driving along I-35 near Tonkawa. It was raining heavily.
And it appears that they hydroplaned, struck a barrier wall, and then became disabled crossways in the interstate.
OHP reports say before they could get out of their vehicle, a Freightliner tractor trailer crashed into them. All 3 students were pinned for over 5 hours and were finally extracted by first responders on scene. 20-year-old Nicholas Nair, 19-year-old Gavin Short, and 22-year-old Drake Brooks were all pronounced dead at the scene.
It's one of the things we see a lot is when it rains heavily, people just don't think to slow down. And it just takes just a little bit of water to lose control and hydroplane, and then suddenly you have something very tragic that happens.
OU sent us a statement saying, in part, the university is devastated to learn of the tragic passing of 3 students. Each were valued and loved members of our community. The driver of the other vehicle was transported to a hospital in Blackwell and later released. Sources say all 3 students were studying meteorology. One of them even a part of the university newscast, OU Nightly.
We think about the future that they had and the intelligence and the wisdom, and And it's just heartbreaking to think, we lost 3 very talented young men.
A little bit later, a couple of Frontenac wrestling standouts signed to continue their careers at the collegiate level.
Plus, thunderstorms continue to increase and work into the region. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a very wet Monday for us today. Periods of showers, thunderstorms, nothing severe. We've had just some good old thunderstorms rolling through. In fact, most of the day we sat into the 50s. Now, as a warm front approaches and starts lifting through the area, our temperatures are slowly creeping up into lower 60s, but we're still seeing a lot of clouds, a lot of rain. So this is what has held instability down across a good chunk of the region. Now, where there's been less rain, less clouds, that's where it's a little bit more unstable. That's why we have tornado watches in effect, northeastern Oklahoma, and then a sliver of southeastern parts of Kansas. You can see the severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow. We do have a couple tornado warnings. This all extends down south. So the chunk of the greatest threat for severe weather is really Oklahoma City to Tulsa, kind of creeping into our area, but majority of it will stay just to our south. Look at the showers and thunderstorms. They just continue to develop right along the state line into southwestern Missouri. This is keeping southwestern Missouri very stable. Where you have started to dry out a bit, Kansas and Oklahoma, a little bit more unstable. So as this line approaches, most likely what's going to happen as it works closer to the metro, they will greatly weaken. But we need to really watch what happens on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side over about the next hour or two. You can see pretty good storms. Wichita all the way down through central parts of Oklahoma. In fact, we can zoom in. This is about a county away from getting into our western viewing area. These are mainly severe thunderstorm warnings. And then if we look a little bit farther toward the south, we are seeing, let's see here. You can see a couple little tornado warnings popping up just to the southwest of Bartlesville. So that's something that we'll have to watch as this line rolls in. As of right now, it's just wet. Interstate 44, this is our Lander Chevrolet Tower Cam looking south and east, but of course you want to be careful still on wet roads, and we do have that severe threat still sticking around. The brunt of it is in northeastern Oklahoma, and then where the air mass is a little bit more stable, not so much. But our main timing as that line works toward us, really about 45 minutes from now, 7 p.m. western counties, eastern counties by 11 p.m. We're going to elevate all the threats. We want to watch it, but I also do want to stress I'm not overly concerned. And of course, I'll let you know if I do become concerned. Batches, showers, thunderstorms continue to plow through over the next few hours. Here's 8:30 p.m. our band right along the state line, and then pushes off toward the east by 10 o'clock. Nobody should have to worry about any severe threat in our viewing area. Gets kind of chilly for us tonight. Upper 40s. We don't really warm up too much for us tomorrow. Highs only into lower 60s. We are going to get some sunshine late in the day. 55 by noon, high temp of 61. Northerly winds at about 5 to 10. However, here come the clouds again. Tomorrow night, here come the scattered showers and thunderstorms again. Wednesday morning, Wednesday very similar to today. Showers, thunderstorms through a good chunk of the day, and then late Wednesday evening into Wednesday overnight, we'll get a little bit more unstable and have a severe threat try to push in here, which will last into Thursday morning. Then our main line midday Thursday will push through, and then we'll start to look a little bit better. But even though we may not get a ton of severe weather, we are going to get a ton of rain. So these are possible rainfall amounts over the next 3 days, and we already have a flash flood threat across the region. 61 tomorrow, 67 Wednesday, 71 on Thursday. We do dry out and look pretty good heading into Mother's Day weekend.
It's good to know you are not overly concerned tonight.
Yes, that is always good news.
We will stay in touch. Thanks, Doug. Hey, when severe weather strikes, you are going to want to stay informed. You can do that by scanning this QR code. You can do it right now. It'll take you to the KOAM News Now YouTube page, where our weather team will live stream during severe weather events to give you that updated information. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Still ahead, the MIAA Awards for local baseball and softball standouts, and a pair of Frontenac High School wrestlers signed to continue their careers together in college. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
A pair of Frontenac High School wrestlers signed today to continue their careers in college. Dawson Lapping and Justice Compton signed today to stay teammates and wrestle at NEO. Now these two, no doubt two of the best in Southeast Kansas. Justice Compton won a regional title this year and is a 3-time state qualifier, placing at state twice. Lapping is a 2-time regional champ, 4-time state qualifier, and 3-time state placer. Both of these guys have over 100 wins in their high school careers, and they're both excited to get to continue to work together at NEO.
We've been practice partners since we were 9 years old. You know, we've gotten really close, obviously, throughout the years being in the wrestling room. So it's just going to make the experience a whole lot better and more fun being together.
I turned down a D1 scholarship to wrestle with him again. We've been wrestling with each other since we were 5 years old. So we've just created that bond, and it means a lot.
We have a couple local athletes earning Player of the Week honors this week from the MIAA. On the baseball side, Missouri Southern's Matt Miller is the MIAA Hitter of the Week. Miller had a monster week. In 4 games against Drury and Missouri Western, he collected 11 hits, including 4 doubles and 2 home runs, hitting for a .647 average. And Miller drove in 12 runs in those 4 games, helping Southern go 3-1. On the softball side, Pitt State's Paxton Hayes is the MIAA Hitter of the Week. She hit 500 in 4 games over the weekend, 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. Hayes helped the Gorillas go 3-1 against Central Oklahoma and Newman. For the season, Hayes hit 400 with 13 home runs and a team-high 46 RBIs. Well, the Royals and the Cardinals will play a pair of games in Kansas City over the next 2 days. First, though, 2 teams meet today in St. Louis in a makeup game from a rainout in April. Kansas City trying to even the season series after dropping the first meeting last month. Now, bottom of the first, Paul Goldschmidt up for the Cards. Up and out to left. His second home run of the season puts the Royals in a 1-0 hole. The Kansas City offense didn't do anything today, but how about some defense here? Michael Taylor out there in center. Great grab to rob the home run. Check it out again. Had the foot on the wall and everything, taking the home run away. Game still 1-0. Now here's that Royals offense I was talking about in the 9th. Hunter Dozier swinging at nonsense. That ends the game. Cardinals take this one today 1-0. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. James Doolin Jr. served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 1967 to 69. The Shell City, Missouri native was stationed in Vietnam, and we salute Staff Sergeant James Doolin Jr., our 4-state hero. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have the latest on the severe weather in the area, of course, plus the midterm elections are inching closer, and inflation is a top issue for a lot of voters heading into November. And new research indicates biology may be at the heart of teenagers tuning out their parents. That and a lot more coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The chances of severe weather are still out there, but not as great as they might have been at one time.
No, the clouds and the showers have really helped us out, but you can see the line out to the west, Wichita down into northeastern Oklahoma. So we're going to watch this as it pushes in over the next few hours. But tomorrow looking pretty good, just kind of chilly. Thunderstorms back in Wednesday.
Final sports notes.
We'll have our full story with Dawson Lapping and Justice Compton, the 2 Frontenac wrestlers signed to the NEO, up on our website here shortly. Go check it out.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Be careful out there, and let's make it a great evening.